Right, so we need to look at our steering. So with our steering, the steering wheel has a T-bar going basically across the top, and our hands want to be placed just above the T-bar, and again without just a very loose grip. And when we adjust our seat, it should be so that the backrest is so that if you put your wrists on the top, then it should be able to go all the way around. So we will be able to cover the steering wheel, we'll be able to touch the steering wheel at all times, but our general hand position is here. Now, one of the things about steering is that we can't really cross our arms. The problem is if we start crossing our arms, it limits the amount of steering that we can do. Now, particularly when we're turning left and when we're turning right, it's difficult to know how much to steer. Okay, so you'll either steer a little bit or you'll steer a lot. The other thing that's quite difficult to work out is how quickly you need to steer. So will it be a little bit quite slowly, or will it be a lot quite slowly, or will it be a little bit quite fast, or a little bit quite slowly? So it's going to be one of those things that's a little bit of a work in progress. It comes with practice, it comes with experience. We also rely quite heavily on our feel sensation. Okay, so we tend to feel when we've steered too much, we tend to feel when we've steered too quick, that kind of thing. What we do want to be able to practice though, and that's the reason for this video, is this ability to turn the steering wheel without crossing our arms. Now the best way to do this is in the privacy of your own home, okay, using the steering wheel as a plate. So if I take this steering wheel off and I put a plate back on top of it, okay, I just hold the plate either side, and again just imagine that my steering wheel now is a plate. Okay, now in order to turn the steering wheel in this car, it's got a system in it called power steering. Now in order to turn the steering wheel we need the engine on, so what I'm going to do is turn the keys until the engine comes on. Now obviously you're going to be using your plate, so you won't need to turn the car on. Right, the first thing we're going to do then is we're going to place one hand at the top of the steering wheel. Now if I'm turning right, it needs to be my right hand. Okay, so basically I've taken my hand from here and I've placed it out at the top. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it downwards. Okay, so this hand holds the steering wheel, and you can see that this hand is still on the steering wheel, but actually it's just going to let the steering wheel slide through it. So this hand takes it and this hand lets it slide, and all I'm going to do is pull it all the way downwards until as I get down the bottom my little fingers come together. So it's difficult to see, but now my little fingers are together. And now to make sure that I carry on turning it, my hand that I used to use, that I was bringing it down with previously, now lets the other hand take over and it pulls it upwards. Okay, so that left hand now begins to come up, and my right hand now just slides until I get all the way to the top again, and you can see that my thumbs are now together. Okay, now to continue the steering, again this hand now takes it, this hand now lets it slide. So take it and let it slide with the other hand, and then all the way around the bottom again my little fingers are touching. So this hand now is going to let it slide, this hand over here is going to grip it, so it just comes all the way up, and now my steering wheel won't physically go any further. Now to get it to go in the opposite direction, okay, I take my left hand and I put it at the top of the steering wheel. Because I'm going to be steering left, I put my left hand at the top of the steering wheel, and then that hand pulls it down, and then my right hand, this hand here, is going to meet it down the bottom. So this hand does nothing, my left hand does all the work. So I pull it down, I let the steering wheel slide, my little fingers down the bottom come together, and then my right hand now takes it upwards, my left hand does the sliding until my thumbs come together at the top, and then my left hand is now going to do all the work, my right hand is going to slide. So left hand grips, right hand slides all the way down to your little fingers again at the bottom. Right hand now takes it, left hand is redundant, so right hand all the way up, and your left hand meets the thumb at the top, and then the left hand pulls it down, the right hand is redundant, and then you're steering it upwards again, so your left hand is redundant, the right hand does all the steering. Left hand pulling it down, the right hand is now redundant. Right hand does the steering. and it won't physically go any further. Okay, so that's the skill that's referred to as pull and push steering. So if I briefly just reset the steering wheel again, okay, what I actually do is a combination of both of all of that together, because if I steer to the right and I don't do anything with my steering, I will continue to steer right, and that's referred to as counter steering. So I'm going to turn right, my hand goes to the top, okay, I pull it down and then I lift it up again with the other hand, pull it down, lift it up again with the other hand, and now to counter steer I pull it down, lift it up, 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 and now counter steer again, pull it down, lift it up, pull it down, lift it up, pull it down, lift it up, pull it down, lift it up. So again, if we just reset the steering wheel, I haven't crossed my arms at all, okay. Now this area here on the steering wheel, okay, is referred to as the airbag. Now if I crossed my arms across that airbag, if we were involved in an accident and that airbag actually went off, okay, it would be quite catastrophic, okay. If I have my hands across the steering wheel like that, not only does it limit the amount of steering I can do, okay, but if that airbag goes off, my arms will do this, and it was kind of a bit pointless having something soft to land on, because my head would actually hit my arms. So absolutely, please practice this at home with a plate, steering it like this, pulling and pushing, pull it and pushing. Practice turning it to the right, practice turning it to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, because when you get in the car and you practice it in the car, okay, it will be that much easier. Alright, thank you.